This conference will now be recorded.
So good evening everyone once again. Hope my voice is audible to everyone. Yeah, thank you for the response. Now, let me know that recall with yesterday's topic. What did we do in the last class? Do anyone remember? So what was the last topic? So login with Canva. Actually, it was logo with Canva. I feel business site. It was on the previous class. Good. Then web design. Very good. So can I know that what was the platform we used it to create our website? Very good. It was Google site, right? So how many of them have tried and they were being able to create a web page, at least one page? So you can be able to put your link. So as I given till Sunday time, so you can be able to do it. But still, it is a curiosity that is there anyone who tried it and they were able to create a web page? So if you are started, you can, yes. So what should the size of logo to upload it in the site? So it is the recommended size it is going to be with 500 into 500 pixel. So this should be the minimum size when you are using for the logo purpose. Okay. So this is the size what you are going to get it when you are going to create it through the Canva. Okay, fine. So how many of them are trying? That means your work is on progress. Type it as WIP. The people who have not started. Very good. That's really nice. Fine. So there are a lot of people who are trying with this. So now let us see that what else we can be able to add it with your Google page, or it may be in any web page in whichever the platform you are going to use it. So what are the things we are supposed to add it so that it is going to give the more conversion rates? So let me share my screen. Hope the screen is visible to everyone. Yes. So we have seen that how you can be able to add with the logo, how you can be able to add with the text information, how you can be able to add an image, and how you can be able to add with the text with the image card. Then with multiple images with card. On the right hand side, you have an options. Then you can be able to create the content in the table format and image carousel, that is the sliders images that it is going to be you can be able to click on it with the multiple images at the same place. Then we have seen with the button. Okay, so with all these things as well as social links also we discussed on the YouTube. So if you are having any YouTube video link, you can be able to link it over here so that it is going to get displayed on your page. And similarly with the calendar and the map. And with all these things we can also be able to add certain kind of a documented, that means you can be able to create a content in a different formats, and you can be able to give a link to provide the details, so they can be able to take up uh, it is only the intention of creating an engagement process, so that they are going to see with the contents, and also they are going to give with their views. Okay, so in that cases you can be able to use it with the docs. There is a Google Doc sheet, or it is going to be with the Google Sheets, that is a spreadsheets. You can also be able to use it with Google Forms. So the Google Forms will play a major role. Why? How? So if you are asking a person who is interested to buy your product, so before that he is going to have certain kind of a questions, so you can be able to solve it with that kind of solutions. It may be like a frequently asked questions kind. Okay, so you can be able to give certain suggestions to your audience, so that they will be clear with what their views on buying your product or services. Okay, so for that you can be able to create a Google Forms. I feel that most of you people have been used for it. The most of the projects you are going under, it will be with the Google Forms only. But still, I just want to get confirmed by you people that do you all know that how to create with the Google Forms? So have you people have been used with it? Good. So the Google Forms, is there any person who has not been used, or been submitted but not created? So the person who has not been used to it, they can type it as no, not yet created. That's good. Fine. That's nice. So thank you for the responses. Now let us see that how we can be able to create our own Google Forms. That's nice. So to create that Google Forms, so either you can be able to click over here as a forms, but here it is going to show you with the list of the forms which are already created. So let us see how to create a new form over here. So for that, let me go to google.com. You can go to this Google Apps, and you can be able to see at the last you will be able to see with the forms. So click on forms. So here also there will be predefined templates will be available. You can be able to make use of it, or you can be able to create of your own. So I'll just take with a blank one. Okay, so it is going to start with stating that untitled form. So this you can be able to rename it. So what is that your intention of collecting the information from your audience? What is the purpose? You can be able to give that name over here. Okay, so I will take it as rainy season. So let me remove, yeah. So rainy season Dhamaka. So I'm just creating a form for the purpose of this rainy season. So I want to run a campaign for certain days for this rainy season. So I want to collect the information who are interested to get participated for this. Okay. So I've given this name, and you can see at the top it is written as an untitled form. That is the name, with what name it has to get saved in your list of forms. Okay, so if you click here, automatically it picks up the name from the headline what I have given over here on the form. Okay, so let it be the same on both the side. Now, after giving the name, you can be able to give it in the bold, italic style. Then you can be able to change with customized themes. So here you can be able to change with what the font type you wanted. You can choose it. Say for example, I'll choose this. You can be able to see here the changes is happening on the header, then at what font, the size, then the questions with what format you want it. I'll take it as a Times New Roman, and I want to keep it little bit bigger, so I can keep it over here. Can you see the difference over here? What you are getting it? Okay. Then the text, I am going to keep it as a Times New Roman and let it be with some 12 size. Okay, the answers whatever they are going to type it. So here you can be able to see here. Then next, what is the theme color? So you can see the changes, the outline. It is going to get changed with this color. And do you want to add an image? So let us see. Okay, let me take this, insert it. So the format is going to be shown with this image. So your presence, so how you want to present it. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing is, yes, so it has been filled up with all the necessary information over. Okay. Yes. Then let us start with what are the common informations do you want to collect it from your audience. So the email ID, so they have to give it. Okay. Then you can also give the tagline or description. So let this rainy season bring a flow of flow of memories I'll add it. So why don't I use it with offers? So it is one of the spamming word we can say it. So let us avoid to use such kind of words. Okay. So let it be this as a description. Yeah. So the next thing is the email ID. It is mandatory that it is going to show their email IDs. So whenever they are going to fill up this form, the next thing is what is that mandatorily we have to ask with. If we are asking with any person, okay, is that anyone confirm me that is that my voice is breaking or is it okay? It's clear. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the response. So can you people just list it out with your experience that what are the kinds of common information the people will collect it. What are the common details they are going to collect it from any kind of a audience? Okay, very good. It is name. So when you are going to give the name, so I'll write it over here, the question as name. So when you are going to ask for name, do not just ask with the name. So try to ask for as first name. Okay. So ask for first name and the response, whatever you want it from them. So you can be able to choose it how it has to be there. So you can click over here and you can be able to ask for whether they have to fill it up with a short answer or whether they have to write it in a paragraph, or do you want to give it with the multiple choice options or check boxes to tick on it or drop down button with the list of options. So like this you can be able to give it with the multiple options over here, but you should be very careful for that particular information what you are collecting, what is the relevant option to be selected. So first name, let me give it as a short answer text. And here you can also observe that there is an option as required and it is been switched on. So required, if it is on, that means it's a mandatory field to be filled up by them. Okay. So if you are going to disable this, it is going to not consider, even though they are going to keep it blank, the form will get submitted. But if you are making it as a required, that is a mandatory thing, you might have been observed, it will be with a red in color with star mark. So that is mandatory field, has to be filled with some content. Okay. So the first name. So you should also ask for the last name. Very rare cases you will be able to see that people will ask for middle name, but very important part is the first name and the last name. Okay. So if you want to add another block, so you can be able to click on this. So we call it as a block and here it is set as a question. So you can be either click on this and you can create a new one, or in case if it is similar to this block or the question what you have been asked similar to it, only small changes you want to do it, in that case you can also duplicate it. So there is an option as duplicate, that is copying. So click on it, so it will create one more box that it is going to give with the same content with same options if you want to repeat it. Okay. So now instead of first name, I will make a small change that into last name. Okay. And this is also a mandatory field. So you can see that if you keep it as mandatory requirement, then it is going to be in the star. Okay. So first name, last name. Then next, what should be asked from them? So what else the question? Very good. I have been uh, given with the suggestion, email, phone number, name, phone number, email address. Very good. So let me go with that. So let me give it with email ID option. Um, Let me keep it as a one format. So let me have it as a first name, last name, then uh, phone number. Okay, so let me add it as a question. So fine, I'll take it as a email ID. So now I'll keep it as a short answer. Okay, so they have to feed it up, but I want them to add it as an email ID only. So there is an option over here, more options. Then click on response validation, and here I can be able to select it that it should be with the text contains with email. Okay, it should be there with the text and it should be with email. Okay, then in case if they are not going to give it with the email ID, so I have to give an error message to the person. So what to be shown as a error message to them when they are going to enter a wrong information. Okay, so I'll type it the error message. Please enter valid mail ID. Okay, so when they are going to enter the wrong information in that particular field, so I should be able to get an error message over there as a please enter valid mail ID. Okay, so like this you can be able to add with your email ID option. Then one more, I'll add it, the contact number. So let it be with the short answer, and here I will keep it as a not required. Okay, so a lot of times we may get it with the fake contact numbers, or the people will hesitate to give the contact number. They are ready to give the name and email ID, so they may give it with a wrong contact number also. But in certain situations it is mandatory we should have a contact number if you feel it, so then you can be able to keep it as a mandatory field. So now I'm not going to keep it as a mandatory field, I'll keep it as a not required, but I'm going to give it with response validation, that it should be with the number format only, and it should be with equal to 10 digits. Okay, it should be the minimum 10 numbers. If it is lesser than that, so we are going to say please enter valid mobile number. Okay, so like this I can be able to add it as a message. Fine. So now apart from this, is there anything I want to ask for them, or I can be able to give the information to them? Okay, so I can click on add question, or do you want to keep it as a with the separate sections in the sense like, now whatever we have asked, it is a general information. So apart from this, do you want to share it with any information, and you are very specific asking a questions on particular thing? Okay, so you can be able to create with multiple sections of questions. Okay, so if it is required you can be able to add it as a section. So let us give it this section, it is going to be on travel history. Let's assume it that we are into a travel business. Specify the destinations visited and planning to visit. Okay, so you can be able to add a section over here. Under this, you can be able to add the question. So we are going to ask them the questions. Uh, so related to the travel. So what kind of questions I can be able to ask, or what can I extract the information from your audience? So can anyone give a suggestion on that? So let's assume it that your business is related to a travel agency, or you are a travel explorer, so that you want to make a business on this travel industry. So you can be able to list out few of the questions when you are getting an idea. So let me ask over here. Are you interested to travel in the rainy season? So I'll be asking a question. So here I'll be giving a multiple choice. So I can add it as yes. Okay, I can add it these three options which were by default it was given, or if you want to make a change also you can add it. Okay, or you want to keep it only with yes and no, you can keep only these two, and you can be able to remove with this. Okay, the next, which are the travel aiming spot in India? Which are the travel aiming spot in India? So I'll just ask the people that which are the places have you been targeted to reach, or you want to visit within India. So here either I can give options to them, they can select any one of it, or I can be able to give it with checkbox option. Means that means I can give a multiple options, they can check on that. Okay, so let me talk about Kulu, Manali, then Darjeeling, Uttarakhand, Fruity, then I'll give it as Munnar. Okay, so I'm just trying out with the things, so how it may look like. Okay, so how interestingly you can be able to create with your uh, Google Forms, so that you will be able to get the information about your audience interest, so that you can be able to create the offers based on that. Okay, so you can be able to choose like this, and also you can be able to add the images. Okay, so for example, let me choose it. Okay, so I'll add it. Okay, so like this. So let me keep the other. Yeah. Okay. So like this, you can be able to add the images. Okay. Then next. So this was on using with the check boxes. The next is in case if you want to add with an video, so about your introduction, so you can be able to add with the video link. Okay, I'll just select this. Okay, so let me assume it with all these things, we are going to add with the information, so that they are going to be happy and they can be able to give their responses. So I'll add it here one more question as, okay, let me delete. Yeah. Okay, so let me have this many, at least this many details. Okay, so once I'm done with all this, we are supposed to check with settings, anything we can be able to add this. So by default, most of the features it is going to be enabled, but still once you check it out, yes, everything is fine over here. Now, when anyone is going to fill up that form, So if anyone is interested with our services or with our products, so they are going to feed up with these forms. And how do we get to know that who has been fed up with their forms, and what are their contact details were, which we have asked them? How we are going to get it? So there is an option over here itself in the forms as a responses. So whoever is going to fill up this form, it is going to get listed with all the information. Either you can be able to see the information over here. Also with this, you can also save it as a document. So here it is going to just show it with the graphical representation, how many people have been viewed, all those information it will be asked. But it is mandatory that you should have a database collecting for every uh, time you are going to create with the new forms. So you should be able to have a document of taking with all their informations and saving it. Okay, so how we can be able to save that as a document? It is going to be through link to sheets option. That means whatever the questions you have been asked, so what is their responses, whatever we are going to get it, so it is going to be get saved in the Google Sheets. So we have to click on link to sheets. So it is going to create a new spreadsheet for this particular Google form name. Okay, you can click on create. Now there will be a separate Google Sheet will be generated with all the questions you have been asked with. So they are going to respond to it, and it is going to be get filled over here. With this, you'll also be able to see the timestamp. Timestamp is nothing but at what time, on what date, at what time they have been filled up this form. Okay, so suppose if you are going to keep it with an timer that this form has to be filled up within this particular date only, so you can be able to easily identify that that person has been filled up this form within the time period given or after the time period it has been. Okay, so it is going to be helpful to you. So whatever the forms you are going to fill it up, it is going to be filled up over here, right? Yes. So now let us come back. Now, how this form can be linked over there for my Google sites or for any place wherever you want to use this Google Forms, how we can be able to connect with it. Firstly, we will see that how we can be able to connect it to the Google sites. So now we have been prepared, everything it is ready. Now let us go back to the Google sites. So now you should find the place where you want to add that Google Sheet. Okay. So so here, let me assume it after with all my contents. Somewhere here I want to add with the Google Forms. So you can be able to add it in multiple ways. So select the location where you want to add it. Click on Forms, which is there on the right hand side, and it is going to give you the list of all the forms what you have been created. So I'll select this and click on insert. So it is going to show it over here directly on your screen. So they have to click on that and they have to submit it. And you can see that after the first section, to move to the next session, it is going to give you the option as a next. So that means it is not completed still. You can be able to complete it in the next page. So like that it is. Okay, so this is one way you can be able to add your Google Forms directly in your web page. Okay, then you can be able to go to the option as an embed. There is an option over here. Instead of going to the Google Forms, you can go to the embed and you can be able to give the link of that Google Forms. Now, how do I find it, the link of the Google Forms? When I don't want to select it directly from the forms, and if I have a link, but how do I find it, the link for the Google Forms what I have created? So can you people see anywhere over here the link it has been provided? So you can see on the top, but it is in the editing mode. But we don't have it anywhere with the link over here. It has been shown over here. You have to click on send option. So click on send option, and here you have a symbol of a link account. So click on this link symbol, then you have a link. Click on shorten URL. So the link it is going to be very short, and copy this link. Okay, so copy this link and you can be able to use this link in any place. It is not only on the Google sites. You can be able to use it on your any social media, or it could be on your uh, Google My Business postings also, anywhere you want it. Okay, so once we are copied with that path, we are going to paste it over here, and you can see that the same way how it was being added, you are going to select it and you are going to get the details over here. There was a size difference when you were selected with the forms and the giving a link. Okay, so you can be able to see it in this way. Let us see that how does it looks. Is it fine for you to display it your Google Forms in this format? So let us check it out with the preview. So click on preview option over here, and you can view it, the content what you have it right now. See, it is allowing you to feed up with the information. Okay, so within that web page only, it is going to ask you to feed up with the information. Now, my question to you people. So I want a suggestion from you people. Whether do you want to have the Google Forms to be displayed on your web page, so that it is going to consume a lot of space on your page? Do you want it like that, or do you want to keep it as a link so that it is going to get opened in another tab or another window, we can say? I don't want to give the whole Google Forms over there. So some people they feel it is very the space eating concept. So they do not want to show it what all the information that is going to be there on the Google Forms. So let it be as a chupa rustum, so that they can be able to have a link over there and they can get it on the other page, and they can fill it up and they can submit it, so that it will not disturb your content in your web page. At the same time, they can be able to fill it up and they can submit it, so that it is going to get saved and that information will not be available on the screen. So how you want it, on the web page or the link? Very good. So most of the people will prefer with the link only. Okay, so before going to that, let me have a 5 minutes of break and come back, and we will continue with this. Thank you all for being online. Hope everyone are able to hear me. So we were discussed in before the break as that whether we wanted the Google Forms to be displayed directly on the web page or do you want it as a separate link. So most of them have been suggested or everyone have been suggested for me that to go with the link option only. So how do I turn that Google Forms link over here? So here, let's assume it instead of having this form, let me remove it. So let me give it over here as a button. So this is call to action button. So what should I give it over here? So let me give it as click here for surprise. So I am going to give it over here as a link and click on insert. Okay. So you can be able to keep it as a button where I can be able to move it to the center of the page. Yes. So you can increase or decrease the size of it. Okay. And when anyone is going to see this and if they have a curiosity to enter or anything else you give it, you just observe few of the websites or any competitors and see that what they have been given there to click so that it is going to take to fill it up with the lead forms. So let me keep it like this and check it out with the preview of this website. How does it works? So click on preview and the people will be able to see it in this way and they are going to click on this, so it is going to get open with another tab to fill it up so that it is not going to disturb with the page, so they can be able to feed up with all the information. So they can click on next, so they have to first fill it up with all the necessary mandatory informations. Okay, so let me fill it up. Let me see with the okay, I'll just type it this information and click another option. Can you see that the error it is going to show over here? Please enter a valid mail ID. Okay, so when you are going to give it as at the rate email or any other server name, now can you see it has been accepted? Okay, so this is how you can be able to give the conditions and you can be able to create with the forms. Okay, then the contact number. So let me give it, so I'll give it more numbers. So can you see here it is asking you to feed up with the valid number. Okay, so let me see that I have given some 7 digits, still it is giving the same error. Now if you see, wait, Okay, so somewhere something is happening. Okay, so somewhere the condition it is taken as wrongly. Okay, so instead of taking it with the total number of digit as 10, it is considering only the number 10 as a right one. So let me go and change it over here. So this is how you have to validate with. Okay, so is number. Let me close this. Let us see that it has been updated. Yes, it is considering the number. So if I'm going to give it lesser, even that also it is considering. Let me take it. Okay, so you can be able to give it as an is number only. So instead of giving with any other options, so that it is going to allow you to end up with the numbers only. If you are going to type it over here with the text, so it is not going to allow you to enter it. So it is going to allow you to enter the numbers only. Okay. Yes, it is going to allow you to enter with the numbers. The next located, so I'll say it as Bangalore. Then click on next option. Yeah. So the next one is select with any of this option and submit it. Now, once it has been submitted, it is going to get saved on your Google Sheets. Okay, so this is how it is going to be filled up, and you can be able to start to collect the details of your audience, and you can be able to do the marketing. So either it is with the email marketing or with the social media marketing, or you can be able to do with the cold calling, and you can be able to get connected with your audience. Okay, so these are the ways where you can be able to create your link of lead generation forms. Okay, so we have seen that how you can be able to add the Google Forms in the web page, and at the same time how you can be able to add it as a link, and you can be able to collect the details. Is that everyone are clear till here? Good. Fine. So I want you people to create a web page, as I've said in the last class. At the same time, you are also being asked to create the Google Forms and include it in the call to action button, the same way how we have been done, and publish with that and give the link. Okay. Yes, this was all about how you can be able to create the web page by using the Google Sites. So I'll just show in the last session, I think one or two students they asked about what are the other platforms where we can be able to create the web pages. So I had been suggested them that they can be able to use it with the WordPress and Wix. In any one of these, you can be able to create it. Okay, so let me show you how it is going to be there on the WordPress. So let me go to the website wordpress.com. So here you are going to get started with your Google account. So it will take a few seconds of time to get submitted. Yes. So you can be able to see this is the screen what it appears when you are going for wordpress.com and you are logging with your Gmail account. So firstly, it is going to ask you for the domain. That is, what is your web address should be. So you can be able to choose it. I am going to choose it with my business name as Digital Ara. So in this name, what all the options we can be able to have it? Is it with the .com, .in, or with any other options? So you will be listed out over here, and you can be able to see that it is being given with a certain charges, but it says free for the first year with the annual paid plans. So that means if you are going to buy the domain name on the wordpress.com, it will be free, it says, but it is not going to be the free just like that. It is going to be free only when you are going to buy the web hosting space from the WordPress. So then only it is going to be free for you for the first year. 1 year the domain, it is not going to be charged for you. Whereas you can also buy the domain names from the other websites like godaddy.com, namecheap.com. Okay, and you can be able to link over here with the WordPress website, but it is going to be charged for conversion. Okay, so here it says 1009 rupees per year. Let me take it this one, 650 per year it says. In case if I buy the web hosting space on the WordPress itself, it is going to charge me at free of cost. The same website, let me check it out on godaddy.com. So you can go to the godaddy.com and type the, so let me check it out. So the website address digitallara.com. So you can be able to get it at 139 rupees, and this charges it will be, so generally it is 1299. So you can be able to get it at an offer price at 139, and you have to buy it for 3 years terms. Okay, and this is only website address. It is not that you are going to have the web hosting space. It's just like a visiting card. You are going to have it. The content has to be written on the web hosting space, right? So to create that content, so you can be able to go to the WordPress.com. You can buy it 139 over here, and there the conversion, the charges, it is going to be something around 600. So it is going to be something around 800 to 900 rupees. You have to spend it to have the website address from godaddy.com. Okay, so you have to check it out which all the places where we can be able to get it at a good price. So I'll take one more example as namecheap.com. So there is also a website where it is going to sell with the domain names. Okay, so you can see here digitalera.com. Over here it is going to charge you at 738 rupees for per year. Okay, so like this, when you have a comparison, you can be able to make a right choices in the right places. Okay, so you can choose it with any of this, and you can be able to create a website through the WordPress. Okay, so here the WordPress, it is also giving you at a free site, but it is not going to be as a website address .com. It is going to be with the extension of .wordpress.com. Okay, so that you can be able to create your content, see its facility, the compatibility with the features what you are going to get it over there. So if you are okay with this, you can be able to buy the domain name as well as the web hosting space from the WordPress itself. Okay, so let me click on digitalera.wordpress.com itself, and certain times if it is a common name, it is used in most of the places, means the company name, it will be given with certain numbers. So do not keep with your website address with any numbers or special characters, so which will act like in spamming. Okay, so try to avoid it. The numbers, it is very rarest cases, if it is really it is you are going to use it for your business promotion, then it is okay, but if it is not required, do not add it. Okay, so you yourself, you should not forget your website address. It should not make the person to get confused. Do not confuse your audience. Okay, so for that reason, so make sure that it is going to give you with your business name .wordpress.com and click on select on it. Now it is asking you to pay, but I am going to select it as a start with free. So what is the intention over here? You can be able to select it over here. So select with your the page look how you want it. So select the template. Then it will create a dashboard for you so that you can be able to add all your content on your web page. Okay, so you can see your website will look like as of now in this way. So you can be able to add, you can change all this content. Okay, so either you can use it with the Google sites also, and you can use it with the wordpress.com also. Here it is little bit complicated, or it is going to be a more choices you may have it over here. So how you want it, you can be able to design with this. Is that clear, everyone? Got a comparison between the Google sites and the wordpress.com? You can raise the question if you have anything. Okay, fine then. You can go through with all the things what we have discussed in the last class and today's class. So if you have any doubt, you can raise it by tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.